We are here with the latest news of the agenda. Israeli army discovered dozens of tunnels in unexpected places. Israeli forces, aware of every step taken by the Hamas group, began operations at critical points. A dot that appeared in the sunlight caught the soldiers' attention. As the troops advanced towards the target, they discovered remarkable points in the Philadelphia corridor. First, additional forces were brought to the region. Then, an operation was launched in the region. Israeli soldiers discovered at least 25 tunnels leading to Egypt. Moreover, an unusually large tunnel was discovered during the operation. The Israeli Defense Forces discovered a tunnel in the area that can pass large vehicles. This tunnel was found to have an opening of about 10 feet in height and had walls, floors and ceilings reinforced with concrete. Israeli army turned the route to this point. Explorations in the area were increased and dozens of underground tunnels were discovered. These tunnels were destroyed one by one in successive operations. The flames rising from the tunnel points caused great panic for the Hamas group. It was learned that important documents and members of the terrorist group found in the tunnels were neutralized. This situation caused confusion among the leaders of the terrorist group. The leaders have suffered a severe power loss, with their numbers dwindling and their vital equipment lost in the tunnels. This will determine the course of the war. Israeli army's operations south of Gaza are generally concentrated in the Rafah area, where the 162nd Division is leading the fighting. This elite Israeli unit carries out operations to find tunnels in the region and hit these points with munitions. Nahal Infantry Brigade also continues its operations along the Philadelphia corridor in this region. The members of the unit are trying to increase their overall struggle against the difficulties in the region. When needed, support is received from air units in operations in the regions. These air units carry out operations with planes and helicopters in places where ground forces cannot enter. Raids are being carried out on critical points, both on land and in the air. This situation is causing members of the terrorist group to be cornered day by day. According to experts, progress in the regions is critical because the power of the terrorist group has seriously declined. The ongoing operations in many regions cause this group to lose its weapons and important ammunition. As the Israeli army continues to make accurate moves, the course of the war will become more apparent. For this reason, strategic moves are expected to increase. Especially the points where tunnels and important ammunition are located will be hit more. In this way, the terrorist group will not have any weapon power left in its hands. According to experts, the Israeli army will continue to increase its regional and strategic operations. In this way, it will be a matter of time before the group is cornered and retreats. The pincer operations carried out by the Israeli army, especially against the terrorist group, are of critical importance. Thanks to such important operations, raids can be carried out on different points suddenly. It is inevitable that groups will lose a lot of their ammunition and equipment due to unexpected raids. With each step, the course of the war is moving towards a critical situation. In such a situation, the decisions that countries make and the steps taken regarding the war will be of much greater importance. Israeli units are expected to carry out operations against groups in every corner. Thus, the war will be entirely in favor of the Israeli army. However, each decision has strategic importance because each step must be determined and intelligent. According to estimates, Israeli troops may advance south, which will make the tunnels more vulnerable to raids. It is obvious that the terrorist group has lost significant power and declined due to frequent targeting of critical points. In this regard, it is expected that the tunnels and headquarters will be operated more frequently. Operations will be carried out with strategic steps. According to experts, there is no margin for error in such wars. A possible mistake could make the situation difficult. Especially in recent days, the fate of countries can be determined by the course of the war.
If we turn our attention to the Ukrainian front, there are critical developments at this point as well. We can say that the turning point of the war has occurred with the latest developments. According to the latest news, Ukraine has finally reached the planes for which it has been working so hard. Ukraine has been requesting fighter jets from countries since the beginning of the war. It has been reported that Ukraine has finally started to deploy F-16 fighter jets. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has unveiled aircraft he has wanted since the start of the war, which Ukrainian pilots hope will mark a turning point in the conflict. Zelensky said, "F-16s are in Ukraine, we did it. I am proud of our men who skillfully used these jets and started using them for our country." This American-made F-16 has been the iconic frontline fighter of choice for NATO, alliance, and air forces around the world for 50 years. It is known that these planes, produced by Lockheed Martin, have been among Ukraine's requests for a long time. Because Kiev wants to protect the country's skies with such warplanes against Russia's offensive moves, it is expected that air superiority will be achieved in the country thanks to such equipment. It is understood that these planes, which are a part of modern warfare, will also determine the course of the war. The fighter jets are armed with 20mm cannons and can carry bombs, rockets and missiles, but it remains unclear how many jets are in existence. According to the Ukrainian leader, there are not enough trained pilots to operate these warplanes. However, more aircraft are expected to arrive and training continues. These F-16 aircraft are used by many countries such as Belgium, Poland, Denmark and the Netherlands. In the Ukraine-Russia war, both sides have been continuing their efforts to advance on the front for a long time. Ukrainian troops have a large defensive force, which slows down the advance of Russian soldiers considerably, making the situation on the front more difficult for the Russian army. We will continue to keep you informed of the latest developments in the coming days. Every support you give us is very important for this. You can subscribe to us, like and comment on our videos. How do you think the war will progress on both sides? What influence might large and powerful countries like the United States have on the progress of the war? You can also share your thoughts in the comments. Stay healthy and peaceful.